Hello, and welcome to the virtual event experience, your backstage pass to the future of events. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Brittany Davison. I'm a senior producer here at Pixl Production, and I'm here in the studio with Chris Huff, and we have Michelin McNeely joining us virtually.
Hey, everybody. It's great to be here today. If you're here right now, I'm assuming it's because live events are part of your role in some form or fashion. And by now we realize that events as we know them have completely changed, and you want to find out how best to adapt.
That's for sure. Companies realized long before the pandemic that serving offsite attendees was valuable and having a backup plan was important. But no one could have guessed how valuable or how important. COVID has accelerated this trend at warp speed.
Yep, gone are the days where we solely focus on attendees and hotel banquet spaces and convention centers, theaters, and even wine and dine dinners. Even simple client meetings no longer look the same. So here we are together in the virtual event space, where hybrid events will be an expectation of the future. I'm sure everyone here has had their fair share of virtual conferences and meetings over the past year, and maybe the idea of hosting something virtual beyond the status quo may sound daunting or even tired at this point. But Pixl is here today, along with our partners at Vital Show Solutions, to show you the power of hosting a next-level virtual and hybrid event and how we can help you do it. Just to give you a quick background, Pixl has produced over 1,500 live events in the last 14 years, ranging in size from 50 to 20,000 attendees. And due to COVID, we had to shift to the virtual event space. Since then, we've produced over 115 online events, again ranging from intimate client meetings to full-scale multi-day conferences. And based on our experience, we fully expect that the virtual event space is here to stay, either in tandem with live events or as an ongoing alternative. Because companies have discovered that virtual events are cost-effective, environmentally friendly, they allowed for a broader scope and audience reach, and they're less susceptible to surprises, like a global pandemic. Take a look.
Yes, the ultimate buzzkill.
She just made the call.
Really?
Yeah, I told them to strike those tables as soon as they can so you guys can start. And I called PSAD again.
Chris is probably gonna make some calls.
I don't know.
Anyway.
There's plenty of people that
So what?
We canceled
we can do it.
Coronavirus 2020.
I feel so bad. They literally just built this beautiful masterpiece on stage, and that was the scenic for the event tomorrow. And now we have to take it all down because the event's canceled.
My client already came up and said that it is what it is. But I didn't want y'all to keep setting up.
So I'm gonna head to the office. Let's take all these computers.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's get everything locked up and then let's get stuff so we can plan to work from home
Okay.
for a while.
Cool.
What a turn of events.
Got an elbow.
Elbow.
Well, that was certainly a day that none of us will forget, and it was the day that our industry changed forever. But today we're going to talk about it all, the different types of virtual and hybrid events, and the elements you need to make them happen. We're going to discuss the 3 components needed to make any event successful, which includes a production team like Pixl, an AV team like Vital Show Solutions, and a platform, which can be anything from your website to social media, YouTube, or a more robust platform like the one we're currently using today, called Hopin. After that, we're going to take you for a quick peek behind our curtain, answer some questions live, and then we'll break out into sessions so you can dive deeper into any of these elements with their respective experts. But before all that, I'd love to give you a quick example of online audience engagement using this platform by offering a polling question. On the right side of your screen, you'll see a tab that says Polls. If you'll navigate over to that tab, we have a question lined up for you, and we'll have more throughout the event. Our first question is, what are you hoping to learn at today's event? A, virtual event production support, virtual event platform and applications, online asset and content development, or all of the above? While I give you a minute to submit your answers, allow me to point out that you're also welcome to submit questions to our team throughout the event in the chat window that is also located on the right side of your screen. We'll address those questions at the end of our program today. So let's get started. It can often be overwhelming to determine all the moving parts necessary for an event. You need the production team, someone who's going to tackle your creative, work with your presenters, live direct your show, and make sure the entire event has a cohesive experience. But then you also need the gear and engineers to make your vision come to life. Think scenic for your stage, video screens, audio and lighting. That's where an audiovisual team comes into play. On that note, please say hello to two of these industry experts. I'd like to introduce Michelin McNeely, executive producer from Pixl Production, and National Sales Director Chris Huff from Vital Show Solutions. Hey team, welcome to the show.
Hey there.
Well, we just watched the video where both of our teams were shut down mid-event due to COVID. What was going through your minds that day?
Well, I certainly had a lot less gray hair that day. This whole day was crazy all week, really. We were watching news reports come in, but there was no official shutdown yet, although it was pretty imminent. But the client was full steam ahead trying to get this event in. And we were right in the middle of sound check when they pulled the plug. And over the next 10 days, we went from a fully booked year of events to no events in sight.
Yeah, it was certainly a surreal moment when our show with numerous international attendees was canceled as rehearsals were set to begin. At that moment, everyone on site began to realize that COVID-19 had shut down our entire industry in literally a matter of hours. We had no idea what our next move would be or how we would adjust. It was certainly a scary time for us as a company, and with the quarantine implemented, it became apparent rather quickly that simply waiting on live events to return was not a viable option.
Yeah, those first few months of quarantine were definitely an uncertain time and a time where we had to really figure out how we were going to move forward. But Mish, you've been in the event industry for 18 years, so virtual events couldn't have been a foreign concept to you, right?
That's right. Virtual events weren't a foreign concept. We've been doing simulcasts, virtual audiences, streaming since at least 2014. But in-person attendees, we always thought of as the A team, and the virtual audience was second string to everything we were doing, meaning we knew that they were there. We had some elements geared to that virtual audience, but it was certainly not as important as those people that were in attendance. And what COVID has taught us is that the event industry must adapt to our change times and this new working culture. And it's going to be essential for companies to understand the event experience from both a physical and virtual branding lens.
Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment, that's fair to say. The expectation was that all speakers were also in person. One of the first things we did as an organization is shifting our focus to how we can support speakers that are remote. We implemented tools where we could control their camera, audio, and these programs allowed us to add an elevated experience for the viewer.
Absolutely. And once we had an infrastructure in place, it really shifted our way of thinking, and we were back to business as usual. We could call a show, we could mix media, really elevate someone's entire meeting. So it just wasn't about being on a Zoom or a Teams meeting. It was as if the attendee was watching the Jumbotron or the big screen of an in-person event.
Yeah, and it's nice that our hosts could be coached by the production team all through their headphones. Because let's face it, this is new to everyone, including your presenters.
Absolutely. This is my first time being a presenter, and I could use all the help I could get.